Members' business debate on motion number 12348 in the name of Paul Martin on protecting rent-tied pub tenants in Scotland. This debate will be concluded without any questions being put, and I invite those members who wish to speak in the debate to please press the request to speak buttons now or as soon as possible. I now call on Paul Martin to open the debate. Mr Martin, you have 7 minutes or thereby, please.
Presiding Officer, can I begin by thanking all of those members who have supported the business motion in my name, and I think it should be put on record that the motion has attracted support from all the political parties in the Chamber, with the exception of the Conservatives, and I hope after what is I know it's from a sensitive position that Alex Johnson has made a gesture towards me, so I don't know what it means that the Conservatives are now supporting the motion in my name. Perhaps he can make that clear during his contribution. But I hope after a constructive debate this evening that we can take this issue forward in a manner that's cross-party. Also, many of us will have various experiences of pubs, many more experiences than others, but can I make the point that my main thrust of the debate this evening is in respect of tied pubs and the contractual arrangements that tied pubs find themselves in. It's estimated that there are over 4,600 pubs in Scotland, and over 20% of them are tied pubs owned by pubcos. Now, I'm sure over the years we've all received various representations on the challenging economic climate for these pubs, and many pubs across Scotland for that matter, particularly in respect to laws that have been passed both in Westminster and in the Scottish Parliament. And I think we owe it to those hard-working pub tenants to ensure that we don't put any further obstacles in their way in dealing with the challenges that they face over the coming years. And I think it should be recognised that whilst we support many of these legislative changes that have been made, that's all the more important why this debate should be taken forward at the same time. Saying also, and all of the evidence that I've seen on this issue is recognised that the tied model is wide open to abuse, with many tenants finding themselves trapped in bleak financial situations, forced to buy products at an inflated rate from the pubcos, allowing them themselves to make very little savings and investments in their business. Last year, the CGA strategy group surveyed the Scottish tied pub tenants for the campaign for Real Ale, and the findings for me were absolutely shocking, and can I just highlight a number of them. First of all, 66% of those respondents earned less than £15,000 per annum, with 10% of them earning less than £10,000 per annum. 74% of the respondents considered themselves worse off as a result of the tied model, and 3% of those had a very positive sentiment for the tied pub arrangement that they have with the pubcos. And I think for us, how we should ensure that we take this issue forward is to recognise that 99% of respondents felt that the Scottish Government should take action now to protect pub tenants north of the border. And I think we should also recognise that the tied pub model has been scrutinised for a number of years, particularly in Westminster, and the UK Government in 2013 received a great deal of evidence in respect to this, and can I just highlight some of these and some of the examples of the activities of the pubcos. And a great deal of activities should be highlighted, and I'm sure will be highlighted by other members. But there was a number of practices, including tenants being advised about large rent rises without giving them any kind of justification for the rises. There was examples of pubcos providing tenants with misleading estimates of potential sales. And I also met with a publican who advised me that if he were to look at investing in his own particular premises, then these works could be carried out, but would be carried out by the pubcos contractors at an inflated rate to ensure that the pubco also received their cut of the work that was to be carried out. I think most of us in this chamber would find such practices to be unacceptable and are certainly not ensuring that small businesses are supported across Scotland. Presiding Officer, I think it has to be, and I need to highlight this once again today, for far too long, tied pub tenants have been squeezed by the pubcos behaving like payday lenders. This is unacceptable, and I call on the Government to take specific action. Now, I need to highlight once again that last year MPs passed the Small Business and Enterprise Employment Bill, in England and Wales to ensure that no Tide pub tenant is worse off than a free of Tide pub tenant. The bill introduced a statutory code of practice and an independent adjudicator to govern the relationship between the tenants and the pub codes. It was also recommended that we should include a market rent-only option for pub tenants. So this provided options that could take forward that relationship between the pub co and the tenant to ensure that there is parity in that relationship. The Presiding Officer, for many years there has been a constitutional discussion concerning this grey area, and I know there have been a number of constitutional discussions over the years, and this has been one of them. And as a result of this, Scottish publicans will not benefit from these new laws that have been passed in Westminster. The Presiding Officer, in taking forward this debate, I am calling the Scottish Government today to introduce an independent adjudicator, a statutory code of conduct and a market rent only, similar to that legislation that has been passed in Westminster, and also to allow every tenant to choose between the right for a tie or a free of tie arrangements, allowing the market to decide what is best, and this would allow tenants a fair and reasonable transparent review of the true rental value of their property. Therefore, once, Presiding Officer, we have actually passed legislation in Westminster that has it's actually been passed in Westminster that we agree with. And I am surprised that the Scottish Government find themselves in the position that we want to debate that issue, given that we have received cross-party support from their members of government today. And I want to say that in a constructive tone, because I do want to take this forward and ensure that the publicans across and these small businesses across Scotland benefit from that. And, Presiding Officer, we should also recognise the importance of these businesses across Scotland. I think members would be surprised to hear that directly pubs employ over 43,000 people in Scotland, a very important part of our industry and employment opportunities for people in Scotland. So, Presiding Officer, I call on the Scottish Government to give clear clarity today on how we can move forward for this, and also for the Minister, and I will intervene if the Minister does not confirm this. I would like the Minister to give us a commitment that there will be a consultation exercise similar to the one that was carried out in Westminster, and that we will look to legislate before the Scottish Government, before the Scottish Parliament elections next year. Presiding Officer, I can submit the motion in my name, and I call on the Chamber to support the sentiments of what I have laid out. Thank you very much.
Many thanks.